Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
International Russian television, Russia Today, reported that Russia was prepared to use tactical nuclear weapons if the United States or NATO attacked any of their forces, repulsing the Georgian/U.S./Israeli sneak attack. I've done an analysis of the Georgian leadership, and basically the entire leadership is made up of Israeli or /NATO/British government operatives. The Minister of Defense and the Foreign Minister are both Israeli Mossad, former defense officers themselves. I mean, you can't make stuff up like this. A bunch of the other top echelon are openly, former officers in the NATO structure. Many of them aren't even from Georgia. Basically, it's just they don't even bother to have anybody from Georgia but Mikhail Saakashvili. So we're going to be breaking that down today. Also, Democracy Now! Had a Air Force weapons expert on going into the fact that Russia clearly rolled nukes, tactical nukes, into Georgian space, menacing any U.S. retaliatory action. McCain, the neocons are all threatening how they want war, military action against Russia. There's nothing more pathetic than William Crystal, that little demonic dwarf, shooting his mouth off about nuclear war every 5 minutes. It's just incredible. Here's some bad news for everybody that I want to go ahead and cover first, though. Ron Paul's wife in serious condition at hospital. Associated Press. This has been out for 15 hours, and I just now learned of it and scanned through the Patriot sites this morning and didn't see anybody covering it. We're getting it up on prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com right now. Ron Paul's wife is in serious condition in hospital. The wife of Republican Representative Ron Paul was in serious but stable condition Monday night at a hospital. A spokesman for the congressman said Carol Paul was in critical care but at an unidentified hospital. Spokesman Jesse Benton said in a statement. Benton would not disclose why Carol Paul was admitted to the hospital Monday, only saying she has had several abdominal surgeries. So it could be anything, endometriosis, it could be, anything in her intestines, in her uterus. You have no idea what it could be. Paul appreciates the outpouring of concern and good wishes during this difficult time, Benton said. The Texas congressman from Lake Jackson, Ron Paul, was Libertarian Party nominee for president in 88 and ran unsuccessfully for the 2008 GOP presidential nomination. His campaign, which was a sensation on the internet, drew support from Republicans, Independents, and Democrats. So she is in the hospital in Houston, and it could be anything. So we will continue to give you any developments on that as they unfold. Carol Paul in serious but stable condition. In serious but stable condition. Okay. Before I get into Russia and is there a ceasefire? Are the Russians ceasing military operations? Their president had said they had about 8 hours ago, but there's still reports of the Georgians firing at the Russians. That's what they do. They continue to fire and then say, they've done this for the last 4 days, and then say, oh my God, Russia's attacking us for no reason. CNN, BBC, we have mainstream reports on this, have all been caught showing images since Friday morning of self-propelled rocket arrays, tanks, attacking Ossetia from the Georgian side, attacking the Russian enclave, and then they put it on the news. And I noticed this Friday, and frankly, I bought it. I mean, I get conned. I make mistakes. I mean, to realize the media is that deceptive, lies that much, is really hard to come to grips with and hard to deal with. I mean, I knew that it was an enclave, Russian enclave. I knew that Georgia had been building up with U.S., Israeli, and NATO support. I was aware of all of that, but as we started reporting at about 11:24 here on the show Friday, when it finally hit our news, it was overshadowed by the Olympics. When it finally hit, I went on to CNN and the rest of it, and the headlines were, Georgian president says Russia attacking it. And then I turned on the video reports on the television and on the internet, streaming from CNN and Fox, and it showed Osseti vehicles. I've now had time to go look at the insignias, blow them up. It's confirmed. I didn't just believe the Russian media. I went and blew it up and looked at it last night and this morning. And it is confirmed that they were showing Georgian military attacking civilians with rockets and artillery and saying the Russians were doing it. I mean, I know the media lies. I know they feed us a steady diet of pure bull, but can you almost even blame the public when there's just pure lies and distortions coming out of the controlled corporate press on key issues, on key events? It's almost total lies. On other events, it might be half-truth or 90% truth or just spin. Or there's a lot of news that isn't completely controlled, that's mainstream, that comes out that tells the truth, like cops taser young man 19 times, and you can judge what you think of that. So we look at multiple sources, and that's how we use mainstream and alternative media. Do we get everything right? No. We get it more often right than wrong. In fact, about 95% of the time we get it right. And in hindsight, we always get it right as we analyze things. But that was the level of deception. I was on the air Friday saying, well, it's showing Russian tanks and Russian artillery pieces and missile systems firing, because that's what CNN was saying. And I noticed it was always faraway shots. They knew. They lied. That's what they do. Now, within minutes, we got it straight and said, now, wait a minute. This says in the bottom of all these stories that Georgia attacked Ossetia in a sneak attack Thursday night into Friday morning. And then we pointed out that there had been a 30 times buildup in their military. Then we pointed out that they had cut the water off to Ossetia a month before and had already been taking pot shots at their police. Now the media is trying to spin it. The mainstream media has been caught lying about Russia attacking Georgia premeditatedly, total lie. And so now they're spinning it saying, well, Russia did provocative things with their peacekeepers in the weeks before. Those peacekeepers had UN troops commanding them, watching everything they did and ordering them, it's now come out, to not fire back at Georgians when they'd been taking pot shots at them and shooting them. So that's a lie. We went and did the research there. You know, when something breaks live at the moment, you know, it may take us 30 minutes to figure out CNN and Fox and everybody in BBC are lying. And then, wait a minute, it's really Georgia that's attacking Russia, a Russian province, basically, enclave. And then it took us days to figure out that it was basically Israeli-run predominantly, with NATO backing. And the world's a big, complex place. It's just incredibly deceptive. It's just layer after layer after layer of lies. Now, let's shift gears. This is huge news. I want to play this audio of 2 weeks ago, John McCain saying we need an Iraq-style surge in the United States. And then that dovetails with the governor of Illinois saying he wants martial law and the National Guard to do gun confiscation, and they now are doing that in areas of Illinois. Then it dovetails with CNN reporting in a positive way, like it's no big deal. Martial law, you can't leave your house even during the day. And we're going to play that clip for you. Yes, we're not joking. It's happening. Here we go.
We know that there are some cities in America where the murder rate is gone way up. And obviously we need to do the obvious. We might look at what Rudy Giuliani did in New York City when he became mayor of that city. He turned it into a city that really none of us were comfortable in walking through the streets to one that's basically safe. And some of those tactics, very frankly, you mentioned the war in Iraq, are somewhat like that we use in the military. You go into neighborhoods, you clamp down, you provide a secure environment for the people that live there, and you make sure that the known criminals are kept under control, and you provide them with a stable environment, and then they cooperate with law enforcement.
Okay, so, and that's what Clinton proposed when he said we're going to have gun sweeps in the inner cities. They set the precedent there. Checkpoints from San Diego to Dallas, Texas. They just randomly shut down even nice neighborhoods. It's wrong to do it to poor folks, but nice areas, you just pull up and like, what's going on, officers? Oh, just a security check, please, ID, registration. And they just phase it in. They just implement it. And that's now what is beginning to unfold. Let's go ahead and start this clip now, then we'll come back and play the rest of it after the break. This is in the United States.
Because of all the recent crime in Helena, West Helena, we're talking about robberies, home invasions, loitering, shootings, the mayor of Helena, West Helena has decided to impose a curfew, but only in certain areas, and that applies for everyone, no matter the age and no matter the time. If you're caught violating curfew, there's a chance you could wind up behind bars.
We're afraid that somebody's going to get seriously hurt.